So now my third point, besides obviously having a 75th percentile score and looking up, individual schools with guaranteed scholarships is, and this is where the real, value of this video comes into play, is that hey guys, it's Nick the Tutor again with another awesome video. This time I'm going to be talking about college scholarships and how I personally received over hundreds of thousands of dollars of college and law school scholarships combined using certain techniques that I've developed and inside industry knowledge that basically a lot of this money is out there for free that you can get. So that's what I'm going to explain today. If you like the content of these videos, subscribe down below, leave me a comment, ask me a question about the college process, about the SAT, about the ACT. We're going to be going to that as well in this video. It all kind of ties together. So let's get into it and let's get it popping. So number one, this is obviously easier said than done. Like, look, I didn't just overnight somehow gain $500,000 of college and law school scholarships without any merit. Unfortunately, the truth of the matter is, if you have really bad grades and you have really bad test scores, there's not going to be a lot of scholarship options out there for you. But if you do have good test scores and you do have good grades, you may not actually receive the scholarships that you deserve. And that's what this video is about how to optimize what you do in this process so that you can obtain college scholarships and grad school scholarships that maybe aren't offered to you, but like I said, that you deserve. So number one, first thing is, generally speaking, you want your score to be approximately at the 75th percentile of scorers for that college or university. Now, what does that mean? The way colleges work, as we know, is this is a huge business. So because it's a business, colleges are very numbers based. There's something called the US News and World Report. What they do is put out a yearly list of highly ranked colleges. They rank them. They rank different schools, business schools, nursing, medicine, law, whatever. They rank all that stuff so people can see, which colleges are the best performing in various areas. Now, one of those areas is what are the GPAs of the incoming students, right? So that's why having a high GPA is important, and there's going to be a certain standard or number that a college is going to require. That's typically called the 50th percentile. Now, can you get in if your score is below the 50th percentile? Yeah. Will you guarantee yourself to get in if your score is above the 50th percentile? Probably not. But at the end of the day, you want to be at or above the 50th percentile. Now, what does that mean? That means if they take the incoming class of students to that college, 50% of them approximately will have GPAs lower than you, 50% of them will have GPAs higher than you. That's why it's awesome to be at the 75th percentile, because at that level, 75% of the students have lower grades than you and only 25 have higher grades than you. So if you look at college information online on a college's website, you can easily find this kind of information, and you could say, okay, so for this specific school, I need a 1300 on the SAT to be at the 75th percentile. If you're at or above that, not only do you have a really great chance of getting in, but you're probably going to qualify for some kind of scholarship. I'm going to go through that in a second, but I just wanted to set out the importance that, this is not just random, right? You need to have a certain grade to get the scholarship. Now, yeah, there's going to be exceptions. There's going to be athletic scholarships. There's going to be other scholarships. Of course, I'm not particularly going into that today. I'm going into more, how can I obtain academic scholarships? So fact number one, you really want your grades to be at or above the 75th percentile. Now, I'm going to quickly look at my screen here. Any kind of research online, you can find a number of colleges that just have totally number-based college scholarships. Baylor, Clemson, Colorado State, Florida A&M, Florida Gulf Coast, Georgia State, Louisiana State, Texas Tech, University of Arizona, Mississippi, Missouri, Nevada, so on and so forth. I mean, all of these schools have numbers-based scholarships that if you hit certain numbers, you're going to get X dollars. So, for example, from Colorado State, if you hit a 33 on the ACT and you have a 4.0, you're getting $4,000 a year. If you're talking about, if you're a non-resident of Colorado, you're getting $10,000 a year for those numbers if you have 29 or above, right? So a 29 non-resident and a high GPA, even a 3.8, you get $10,000 a year. Now that should give you that. Now, I'm gonna go into some other ways to get scholarships in a bit, but I just want to point out, if you have a 29 or a 1330 on the SAT, 29 on the ACT, and a 4.0 at Colorado State, and you don't live in Colorado, you're going to get $10,000 a year. So, piece number one reigns supreme, right? Certain SAT, ACT scores and GPAs are just going to be rewarded with money. That's why I prep kids for the exam. That's why I work with families. I mean, the amount of money that we've helped people obtain, you can obtain that too. Whether you study on your own, whatever study methodology you do, you just got to hit that certain score. And obviously that's easier said than done, but the point is it's financially beneficial to study for these exams. So that was kind of what ties into my point number two, is that if you're interested in obtaining a scholarship, or you don't want to pay full price for college, what you can do is look these kind of schools up, and you could say, well, if I have a certain grade, X, Y, and Z schools will give me this awesome, massive scholarship. That's a great strategy to lessen the cost of college, and just takes a little bit of research and obviously a good score. So now my third point, besides obviously having a 75th percentile score and looking up individual schools with guaranteed scholarships, and this is where the real value of this video comes into play, is that you can actually negotiate. I myself, I'm an attorney as my background. I own Curvebreakers, but I'm an educated, I went to law school, I became an attorney, I practiced for several years, and obviously a lot of that is negotiation. Funny enough, a quick story, when I was going to law school, I received a certain number of scholarships from certain schools. Other schools basically gave me no scholarships. What I did was I took the letters of the schools that gave me large scholarships, which were maybe slightly lower ranked, and I called up the higher ranked schools and I said, hey guys, like so-and-so is giving me $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a year. Like, what can you do to match that, if at all? What's the deal? What's going on? I just asked, in a polite way, of course. And they said, all right, hold on. The person on the phone is representative in the admissions office. Okay, give me 1 second. I go talk to someone. So I'm going about my day. I'm doing my thing at work or whatever it was at the time. And the person comes back 5 minutes later and is like, oh yeah, looks like we found $50,000 a year. What? I mean, you gotta be kidding. I mean, all it took was a phone call and I unlocked an extra $140,000, $150,000. And maybe I had a small scholarship from that school, $5,000, $10,000 a year. I ended up getting an extra $100,000, $120,000. I mean, all it took was a phone call. And then I was like, oh, damn, this actually works. I mean, I read some things online on forums and whatnot, and that's how I kind of educated myself. And that's why, I want this channel to pass that education along to you guys. But basically all it took was asking. Now, law school is a little different, but what I can tell you is, in doing this, I've met a lot of representatives from schools, admissions people have called me. I work with college admissions people, and I actually had lunch about 1.5 years ago with 2 deans from pretty local colleges, like a state or 2 over. And they came down and they spoke to a bunch of industry people at lunch. And what was awesome about that is we got to ask them questions. It was kind of 10 of us industry, SAT, college people, and 2 gentlemen from a school. And I was like, okay, this is a great opportunity to kind of pick their brain and learn something from them. And one of the questions that came up was, how do you feel when someone asks you, for financial help? Like, hey, this college is really expensive. I'm a great student. Can you unlock some extra money for me? Like, what's up? And they actually said, you know what, guys, like, at the end of the day, do we love it? No. But are we going to unlock an extra $5,000 a year for a student that we really want? Of course. I mean, the endowment of a lot of these colleges is in the hundreds of millions of dollars. So an extra $5,000 for a great student, I mean, that's a no-brainer. So at a minimum, I've had many of our clients be successful with something like that with college, even just calling up and saying, the cost of this is astronomical. Can I, get some help with this? Like, I have other schools that are giving me large scholarships, or that are state schools or whatever. What can you do? So that experience, that luncheon for me was extremely eye-opening, because I always knew that was true from my own personal experience, but I never heard it from someone else. And that was the exciting part, was like, someone from a college just admitted that they will let you negotiate your scholarship. Now, let's be cautious for a second. You don't want to go in there and, be rude or ask for, full ride off the bat or whatever. Like, that's kind of inappropriate, right? But, if you have tact about it and you're careful, it can be really effective. So that's all great, right? So all this information I just provided, awesome, Nick. Like, what the hell am I supposed to do with that? So let's just talk about how to effectuate this plan, right? What do we do to make all this information that I just told you happen for you? We have to plan out everything about our college process, right? We have to make sure our scores are in line. Wherever our scores end up, if we can get them to a certain level that we like, then we want to do a very important amount of research for our college applications and what colleges will give us money. So we want a nice list of safeties, schools that maybe will almost guarantee to accept us based on our numbers. We want some mid-level target schools, obviously schools that we may get into, we may not, but it's likely that we will, and then some reaches where it's maybe unlikely that we're going to get into them, but it would be awesome if we did. Why are we doing that? We want to establish scholarships from the safeties, and that gives us leverage, right? You want leverage in negotiation. Now, the leverage is, okay, I have this piece of paper from X university that says they're offering me $20,000, $25,000, $30,000 a year presidential scholarship based on my ACT score. Now you take that and you run with that information to the other school and politely ask them, hey, look, X school is giving me $30,000 a year. I actually really like to go to your school better. I've been accepted, of course, and I'm interested in going there, but financially the cost just isn't going to work out for me. Like, what can we do? Can we pull together something? And you could probably in that phone call get yourself a free $10,000 to $20,000. So, that's an incredible value. It takes a long time to set up, right? You need the scores, you need the applications, all this stuff. But if you plan everything out right and you kind of absorb the information from a video like this, not only will you be able to, get into better colleges, but you'll also be able to get a massive amount of scholarships. I myself, like I said, received $500,000 plus in scholarships to law school, mostly based on applying to a wide variety of schools and pulling together scholarships from each one and then going back to the other ones to ask for more, in a polite fashion. I've told many of the customers here about that. I've told many of my employees about that. One of my employees is actually effectuating that right now and has received hundreds of thousands of dollars in law school scholarships this time around. So there's nothing else I can say other than that this works. You have to be smart, you have to be tactful, you have to plan stuff in advance, and you have to have the right information. But if you do, you can also obtain $500,000 in scholarships like I did. We have all this information for you, the parents, the students. This is what we do. We're going to be dropping these videos every single week on Curvebreakers Nick the Tutor channel. I'm Nick the Tutor, and I'm here to give this information to you on a weekly basis. And I can't wait to keep dropping these videos. Comment in the bottom, let us know any questions you have, videos you want us to do. We're going to be doing videos on everything from SAT, ACT prep to college stuff as well. So if you have any video requests, hit a comment, give us shoot us a question, and we're going to be listening to you guys. We're going to be answering questions in the chat. So we really appreciate your feedback, and really appreciate you contributing to our community that we're creating. I'm also on TikTok, Nick the Tutor. I'm posting shorter versions of these videos, little snippets and introductions and small pieces of information, little bites for you guys. So keep a lookout for all that stuff, and more coming soon. So we'll see you soon, guys. Peace.